And it's a beautiful day. You're listening to your number one station, RX Radio. And in case you're heading to Entebbe Airport, I don't know, maybe you have plans of traveling somewhere, you better think twice. Because if you are a government official that's been implicated in the Iron Sheet saga, they're probably not going to let you board any flights. The president has issued a directive barring any public officials accused of improprieties related to the Iron Sheet scandal from leaving the country. You'll recall that Amos Lugoloobi, when he was captured on Friday, he was on his way to Entebbe. Mm-hmm. Presumably, he had plans of going to the airport and traveling somewhere. And I think the president is trying to preempt any such attempts by other officials, and so has rendered it impossible for them to travel. I don't know. Is he going to withhold their passports, or is he just going to put them on a blacklist at immigration?
I guess a blacklist, or even withholding their passports. Apparently, the good old president doesn't want them to skip town and interfere with investigations. I mean, I guess you can teach a dog old tricks sometimes. An old dog some new tricks.
I was just thinking about this a moment ago. Do you honestly think these ministers could have ever imagined that iron sheets would be the thing that does them in?
No. First of all, iron sheets are cheap. I mean, Anita Among got iron sheets, 500 iron sheets, and they cost about 35.5 million. They're cheap.
Yes, this is not money that causes ministers to lose sleep.
But they say that a thief has 40 days. And when your 40 days are done, even stealing a bicycle is going to render you guilty, and you may end up serving time.
Because would you be surprised if the same people may have misappropriated like billions in other, improper, things that they may have done in the course of their duty, right?
Yeah.
But to be nabbed over some damn iron sheet.
Maybe this should go to teach our public officials that, we know you're greedy, but sometimes you have to exercise a degree of caution.
Because they even want to give them back. They're like, okay, here, have them back. But they're like, no.
So now here's the thing. They can give the iron sheets back like the president said, especially if they had given them to like charities or, religious institutions or schools, but that still doesn't exonerate them from an investigation by the police or the IGG, and if they're found culpable, they must face the music. Oh, wow.
Amos Lugoloobi, he just, he's someone I've met personally. Mm-hmm. He used to be working where someone I know works, and so when I'd go to visit, I'd see him around that office. This is before he joined the government as a minister, and he seemed a very affable, friendly guy. So I don't think, as a person, he's necessarily a bad fella. But man, he just got caught in the wrong thing.
There is two things here. There is you being a good person on your own, and then there is power. People change. Power changes people. Like the former permanent secretary of the Treasury died last week. That is Keith Mohakanizi. And some people had so many negative things to say about him. Then his best friend, Mwesigwa Rukutana, had so many beautiful things to say about the fallen Keith. Well, why am I talking about Keith? Rukutana, in his eulogy, said so many good things, and I was like, okay, he actually has a heart. He actually loved someone, because during the last election, he was such a terrible person who even tried to shoot at some people over
Rukutana.
Votes. Yes, Rukutana. And here he was, I'm like, okay.
Sounding so sweet and loving.
Thank you. So I'm saying there is power and then there is you. And the problem is that in most cases we forget to draw the line, and it is really thin.
Right, so it looks like the net is broadening. It looks like more and more people are likely to be arrested in the coming days. And there's no telling where this is going to stop. So it'll be interesting to watch what happens next.
Exactly. So probably up next, maybe Agnes Nandutu.
Yeah.
Because she's the other minister in the Karamoja sub-region.
I'm surprised that the Prime Minister herself is completely in the clear.
We don't know if she's completely in the...
What about the Speaker?
Okay, the Prime Minister, I don't know if she took iron sheets. Where she falls short is that all this happened, this impropriety happened in her office.
She's the
and she had no idea.
Right. So surely she has to be culpable in some way.
There has to be something she has to answer for. But like you said, this net is broadening. So we don't know what's going to happen by the end of the month.
Yeah. And if I was the Speaker of Parliament, I too would be shaking in my boots.
Oh, by the way, Matia Kasaija, Anita Amonga, and a few others have already indicated that they're, and Rebecca Kadaga. At first, Rebecca Kadaga had said she's not going to give back the iron sheets, that she got them through the right procedures. They were for some schools in Kamuli, and indeed, the schools and I think a church got the iron sheets. But now they are quick to say we are returning them, because now after Kitutu was sent into the coolers for a week, they're like, okay, this is happening.
This is so crazy. This is so crazy. And do you think some of them should volunteer themselves to the authorities?
As in,
so
like,
as to
hand
avoid
themselves in?
Yes, as a way of preempting any attempts to arrest them, because that's the worst thing that could ever happen. You never want to be seen in a police car or in handcuffs. So I mean, if the issue
and the media,
is
it's this for breakfast.
Exactly. So why not just volunteer yourself? Go with your lawyer, volunteer to answer any and all relevant questions.
Does it happen that way though? Because you see, there is an ongoing investigation, so you can't preempt the investigation and say, okay, let me come. Isn't that admission of guilt in some way?
Not exactly. But they're going to have to find very creative ways of dealing with this problem. Otherwise, more and more of them are going to end up in jail.
But I'll tell you, Fatboy, you called me vindictive last week, and it's okay. I'm happy.
You are happy?
I am happy.
You're happy that these public officials are behind bars?
I don't care about them. I care about the people in Karamoja and many Ugandans that have been ripped off by these people. So if a few of them can spend even a week in jail, I'm happy.
Why is your heart so evil today?
I'm not evil.
But do keep listening to your number one station, RX Radio. Ahead, we're going to be talking about something interesting happening in the education sector. Well, if you went through, O-level and especially A-level, in the years before, you'll of course remember that you probably had to offer a minimum of 3 subjects, and then you could offer a few other subjects like arts or extra sub-mathematics or whatever other else you could tack on to your 3-course combination, so that you could be eligible for admission to university. Well, there's a new development where they're now saying, actually, all you have to do is 2 subjects. Wait, what's that all about? That's coming up next on The Fatboy Show. Also, Sarah will be joining us shortly to tell us what's popping. Stay tuned.